Happy Tuesday, Fresco. Oh, that's an old podcast intro. I'm going to leave it in. That's fun. Happy Tuesday, Jar of Pain babies. If you're interested in my voice at all, you can check out my old podcast called Fresco Savage Live from the Interdimensional Bedroom. This is the same kind of intros I used to do. Muscle memory kicked in. Anyway, Jar of Pain, baby. If you were at our show last Saturday, September 28th, and you're listening to this on Tuesday, boy, do I appreciate you being there. It was a hell of a show. They're always a hell of a show, always make me feel good. And yeah, I can't wait to see where we take this thing. I can't promise Jar of Pain will last forever, but I can promise you that Ben and I will always be on stage together in some way or form. It's something I'm very confident in. So yeah, we'll see what the future brings. Boy, I appreciate you guys. And this is a fun episode. We cover some interesting topics. We talk about how much toilet paper you should keep on hand. That was a long conversation, and we get really into the nitty-gritty, scrapey of toilet paper and bidets, and it's fun. So I hope you're having a great fall. I hope you're enjoying the cooler weather. I hope all your dreams come true, and I hope you enjoy this episode of the Jar of Pain podcast. Thank you so much. I love you.
Jar of Pain, what time is it? 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 Jar of Pain, what time is it?
Welcome back to the Jar of Pain podcast, the podcast where we answer
your questions.
Yeah, life's toughest questions, from silly to serious. We don't always know the answers, but I guarantee we will be passionate. I'm Matt.
I'm Ben.
I'm so depressed. Well, Ben, how are you? This started weird.
I wish
we were like half doing a bit, and then it like wasn't a bit, and then I said I was depressed, which was a bit, but also secretly deep down felt like not a bit. Felt like me releasing something.
Yeah. I was committing to it.
We were both committed, but then at one point we both were like, "Is this a bit?"
Well, when you said depressed, I'm like, no, that's true.
I actually feel okay today.
Oh, well, that's because it's sunny out.
No, I hate the heat.
Oh, just kidding.
We're having like a late July, mid-September right now.
Here's the thing. You got to enjoy it now.
No.
Because the cold's coming.
I like it. I used to be a hot man. Now I'm a cold man. I'd rather have the cold.
You're still a hot man. You know, some people can roll their R's.
Yeah, me.
You literally just rolled.
Yeah.
I said can't.
Oh.
Man, I've been missing letters today, and I've got a joke tonight that I told my friend today, and
You're doing
she was
stand-up
like,
tonight.
I am doing stand-up tonight. And I told her this joke, and she was like, well, she thought I said thread, but I said threat. I'm not really sharp with my consonants, you know?
I tell you what I've just noticed, and I was listening.
Mm-hmm.
My blinds broke today.
Yeah.
Right before you got here. And boy, is my table dusty.
It is quite dusty.
It needs a wipe. We're not going to do it now. Maybe this is a reminder to myself when I edit this later. Hey, future Matt, give it a wipe.
Give it a wipe.
Yeah. Get your Myers clean spray out and give it a quick old once over.
And while you're at it, take a look to your side. Your left, your right. You see a Topo Chico? No?
No.
Get it. You deserve it.
Topo Chico's out of my budget right now.
Go get one.
I've been a big budget man lately, and I realized Topo Chico has always been out of my budget, but I was just not being smart with my money.
What if you die tomorrow and you're like, if I just had a Topo Chico, I just want one Topo Chico. Because guess what? You get to heaven, God's a liquid death guy.
No, the bubbles are so big. My God.
Exactly. So enjoy the Topo Chico down here.
You're telling me Topo Chico with the tiny razor sharp bubbles are Satan's territory?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying God's not a fan of that Mexican beverage. He has Mexican Coke.
I'll get diabetes.
It's Mexican Coke is like better than our Coke. It's made with.
They're all bad.
It's like European
it's
Coke,
sugar, but it's sugar.
but it's less. It's more vegetable-y. Also, I had
vegetable-y. That's interesting.
a Coke Zero Oreo.
Gross.
I should say an Oreo Coke Zero because they do make Oreos flavored like Coke Zero.
Yeah.
But a friend of mine bought a tiny can of Oreo Coke Zero. Tastes like a Oreo. Tastes actually like vanilla Coke, but with like a little in the back. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, that sounds nice.
It's not as, but also he then told me that they made it so that way you could dunk an Oreo Coke Zero cookie into the soda. And I was like, this is why
gross. Capitalism sucks.
America's not respected throughout the globe.
Yeah.
This is a problem.
That's so gross.
Yeah. So we can't solve that problem, but we do have some issues and questions.
And where do they submit them?
At jarofpain.com.
Beep, beep, beep. Jarofpain.com.
If you wanted to see the captions on that, it's the clap emoji in between each word.
Sure. I could do that.
You don't got to do that. I was just, if people wanted to imagine.
Sure.
Yeah. Use your imagination.
Imagine.
First question. When do you know you're out of the woods after a rough stretch?
It's not a bad question to start out. I think I'm currently in a rough stretch. How about you?
I was in one. I had a down moment.
How did you get out? How did you know you were out?
It's time. I'm not going to give you the funny answer for this. I'm just going to give you the real answer.
And that's what I want.
It's time. It's just, so here's what happened is I was really just bummed about comedy. Which if you ask any comedian who's been doing comedy for a consistent stretch of time, they will
honestly, any consistent, it could be 3 weeks.
I don't know about 3 weeks. I'm going to have you pump the brakes there, but
okay, I'm pumping.
But regardless, I was just like so bummed and I felt really down. And then I went to open mic last week, and for those of you who know, Brian Regan performed at the Sun and Tag Center here in Eau Claire.
Yeah, so it's a big new performing arts center and basketball court. So it's like, essentially it's like a small arena. It fits like 4,000 or 5,000 people.
Yeah.
It's a huge place.
Yeah. And
big comedian, been on Netflix. He's done the whole thing. His first Tonight Show appearance was with Johnny Carson. So he's been in the game for a long time. 1997. I know this because I wrote about it at work.
That's amazing. Legend among legends. Okay. Every comedian knows Brian Regan and respects him because he's a clean comic that just like everyone loves. And he just did a set at the open mic at the Plus.
He came after his show.
Sold
out show.
And did a 10-minute set at the Plus. And like I went into the mic going like, I was like, I don't even know if I want to stay. I don't even know if I want to do it. I just felt so uninspired with my work. I felt so, I don't know. I have a particular style that I get self-conscious about. And I was like, I don't know. And then I see this absolute legend get on the stage in some rinky-dink fucking town that he has no business being on stage for. Crushed 10 minutes.
Did he crush?
Crushed 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then he stayed and watched everyone.
That's incredible.
And I was literally inspired. I felt like an asshole for not being prepared. I had
Did he watch you?
Yeah, he did. And it was great. And that got me out of my funk. And the feeling I had before was so just, it's like a muck. It's like you're walking in mud and your foot's getting stuck and your foot's coming out of the boot, but your boot's not moving.
Yeah.
But then when you get out of the rough stretch, the rough patch, it's just like clarity. It's clarity and a lightness in your mind. And that's when you know you're out of the stretch.
That's great, Ben. That's really beautiful.
Thank you.
I don't have a joke here.
Yeah.
It just was genuinely.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And this show isn't necessarily a comedy show. We do love bits.
There's just comedians doing the show.
Yeah, we're just guys.
Yeah. We're just bros.
This actually relates to you. When I broke up, when I went through a breakup of my last relationship, and it was like my first like really serious relationship, long term. We named our kids. I thought we were gonna last forever. And then I told my friend that once, and he's like, yeah, I've done that like 9 times. And I'm like, oh, I thought it was unique. Anyways, I asked you. You're giving me a ride home from Mike, as you used to do when I used to be a stand-up comedian, because now I've given up on that for now. Why did I say that so weird? I felt like saying a lie and a truth at the same time.
I feel bad about saying it like this because it's a lie. Okay.
Yeah, it's like a lie I tell myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't believe it.
I say it, but I know there will be a time when I'm like, God, I wish I could have some attention. I wish I could use my trauma and monetize it.
It's literally just about to be like, yeah, but you're a little attention whore.
I know. But I was like, when does this go away? Because I was just feeling, you feel just like little like melted ice cream on the sidewalk after a kid dropped it. There was so much promise.
So much promise for a good moment.
And then it's like, it's like melted ice cream on the sidewalk, cone still attached. And you said, one day you'll just kind of get over it, but it just takes time to get there. And so for me, when I forget that I'm in a rough patch is when the rough patch is over.
That is true.
When you're just like, you stop like victimizing yourself, being like, God, you're so ugh. When you get over that feeling and you just kind of forget that you're in a rough patch, that's how you know it's over for me.
That is it. You just got to fucking lose yourself in something you like doing.
Yeah, which I've done.
Yeah.
Too much.
Yeah.
I have a record out called The Salty Batch.
Listen now on Spotify.
Fresco Savage.
It's very good.
Presents The Salty Batch. What's so weird about, I post a lot of stuff and I always feel like I'm annoying. So when that record came out, I like switched my thinking because I really didn't want to associate my accomplishment of like releasing like a solo project where I would like was head of creative and all the video. Like it was the first thing I ever made by myself. I worked with people and collaborated, but like
sure.
I was the guy they asked the questions. Nobody else had any stake in it but me. And so I felt really proud of that. And so like I wanted to disassociate success from like the numbers and just feel accomplished. And so then I felt like I was getting annoying and it was like, I don't need to promote this. And then I looked back like the other night and I'm like, I posted about this 4 times. Why did I feel annoying? I worked on that for 4 years.
You should have posted more about it.
I know. And so I posted it and then like people were like, oh shit, this is sick. And I'm like, yeah, it's been out for a year. But yeah, that's how I know is when you forget you're in a rough patch. And I really found, I do get into this like, woe is me mentality.
Everyone does.
I kind of feel like sometimes I have it harder than anybody, which is absolutely not true, but it's easy. It's like, it's like a really comfortable way to feel. It's a comfortable thing to feel about yourself.
It's also satisfying for some reason.
It's because you don't put any expectations on yourself because you're like, well, yeah, my life is hard and it sucks and I'm a piece of shit. But then you can't like have any expectations for yourself either. It's like a little mental game your brain plays. And I don't know if it's like trying to protect you from further depression or like what that is, but that's how it is for me, at least. I get into these woe is me mentalities and then it takes like real training to get out of that too for me. Like because of therapy, I've learned like to stop my spin outs. Like I start beating myself up internally. And I'm like, whoa, what's going on? What's going on here? Why are you doing this to yourself? Like people like you. Why are you like, and it's like an internal conversation you have to like have with yourself, which is crazy. And it makes you feel like a crazy person, but it works. And then you get better at that to the point of as soon as you have a negative thought about yourself, it just does it. Your brain just kind of does it automatically. You don't have to think about it so hard.
Yeah.
It becomes like muscle memory.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
This episode is starting really, really wholesome.
Let's just go, you know what?
Let's go next
ripped
question.
it. Maybe we get a good one. You know what?
Go deep.
Can you
The
manifest?
jar's been refreshed, by the way. We appreciate all your questions.
Yeah. Do we want to waste the manifestation on a good, funny one, or do we want to wait that for last question?
I think waiting for last question's a nice tradition.
Okay, we can do that.
It's new, so it could be old, it could be new.
It's true. Next question: how much toilet paper should you keep on hand?
Now finally a question we can answer.
This is a good question. Now, are we talking how much do we keep on hand, as in stocked in the house, or how much do you keep on hand, like literally on your hand when you wipe?
We can answer both.
All right.
Are you a buncher or a folder?
I'm a folder.
I'm a folder too, and that's an evolution for me. I used to be a buncher.
That's a wild. If you bunch your toilet paper, that's like the
You're
same.
probably not buying it for yourself.
That's the same energy as a person who like doesn't pay their taxes throughout the year. They pay them at the end. You know what I mean? Like they don't take the money off your taxes. You pay the government back.
Yeah, it's
Same energy.
I don't know if that's true.
Same energy. That's a wild way to live. You're just gonna.
You want as much as possible. You want as much surface area as possible. Here's another thing too.
Right.
When I was growing up, and it's still the case, my parents buy awful toilet paper.
Oh yeah.
And so if you weren't bunching, it's like unfoldable toilet paper. It's one ply. It's rough.
I'm gonna say
Your
this
finger
right
goes right
now.
through it.
Spend money on toilet paper.
Yes.
Just because you're wiping, you're doing like the grossest thing possible to your body, and it's containing the most. Doesn't mean it needs to be the worst. Okay, that's your butthole. That's your bum.
You got to treat it fairly.
Treat it nicely.
Yeah.
Okay. It might be gross and stinky and all this other stuff,
Yep.
but at the end of the day, it wants a nice caress. Okay, it wants a nice little cotton kiss.
Yeah.
And that's not the name of the episode. I don't fucking know what is, but
It wants a cotton kiss.
people quit using one ply.
Yeah. And my dad claims it cleans better. He thinks the roughness cleans better. I don't believe that because I've seen the light of Cottonelle. What's it called? It's like Cottonelle Intense Clean, where it has ridges. It has texture to help clean. I don't like the soft stuff. I can agree with him on that.
Yeah.
I don't like the Angel Soft, like a pillow. Like I don't want to rub a pillow between my cheeks. I do want a little grit. I don't want sandpaper, but I want grit.
Yeah. The really soft stuff does. I'm like, is this
It's
even
just smearing it around.
Yeah, is
it's
this
just
working?
smearing it around.
feels like when you get a Kleenex and you wipe your nose and it's the lotion? No.
Yeah,
No.
I agree.
I kind of get what your dad's saying, but not one ply. And not that fucking public restroom toilet.
Ooh,
Who is saving the money they're saving with that TP?
I actually think it's more than you think because I used to work in purchasing and I understand how costs add up with volume. And if it's like a truck stop and it's going through, we're talking 25 rolls a day and there's like industrial sized rolls.
Bro, that's the shit they used to wrap mummies with, okay?
I think it's even worse than that. Mummies was cloth.
Yeah, but it's just so thin and ghostly.
I will say I probably use more than average because of the surface area that I need to attend to. And I'm not saying I have a huge butthole.
Square count.
It's just like the square footage or inch, whatever. the entire surface area of the area I must attend to
Sure.
is larger. And I'd rather wipe less. This is the best podcast of all time. I'd rather wipe less with more and get more each time than keep going back to the dog bowl.
What about being What about being a bidet boy?
Now, this is interesting.
Never used one, I should say.
So,
Strictly curious.
talking back about my life,
Give me
there's
details.
a crackhead yelling outside. My parents have become bidet people. They actually use far less toilet paper. You don't need toilet paper, really. Like you dry it,
Yeah.
but you're not cleaning anything. You just don't want soggy undies.
Yeah.
I did not believe in a bidet for a year after they got it. You know, I'd go over once in a while. Sometimes you got to do the deed. But let me tell you,
Yeah.
that is an experience everyone should have.
The French round or something?
Yes, it is so superior. In fact, it's hard to feel clean without it if you get used to it.
I could understand that.
Because it's different than a wet wipe, which makes you feel soggy.
I don't like wet wipes.
Me either. Who needs them? They clog up the plumbing. Stop it. Unless you're in a camper, you don't need it. But there's something about a bidet that's so special. But I will also say, like, my parents, much like me, they don't skimp on stuff when they buy something. They get the version that's like good and will last. So they got a whole toilet that has a built-in bidet.
Sure. Oh shit.
Instead of just like you can buy like the little tushies, I think they're called. Like there's podcast bidets.
Yeah.
And they're like $70 and you can install them yourself. And that's fine for regular people. But this thing, first of all, you sit down, it sings. It goes and you're like, it's like num.
Is it one of
Feed
those-
me, please.
Hey yo.
It has a heated seat.
That's
And it has a remote control.
somebody definitely has sex with that toilet, but keep going.
It has a remote control. You can control the water temperature, the water pressure, and the direction of the nozzle.
Is this one of those Japanese toilets?
I don't think it's Japanese. My dad would never.
He fought in the war.
He fought in the war. He would never. So it's really odd. It's like a whole experience. And the first time I used it, I just started laughing. I was like, because it's such an interesting, it has cycles where like it goes front to back, side to side, like very concentrated and tight, right on the chocolate starfish.
Toy.
It's really, really superior. But I'm not going to buy like a $2,000 toilet
Yeah.
for a rental. I'm in an apartment.
Yeah.
But when I buy a house, and I will, because we live in Trump's economy now. I can barely say it.
We should also note that this is well before the election. We're like 55 days out.
Because we live in Kamala Harris's America, I will have a bidet. See, I flip-flopped.
There you go. There you go.
We cover both bases.
That's what we do.
Because we live in RFK's nation, I will afford a house one day. I will have a bidet in, if not the main toilet, every toilet if I can afford it. Because I think it's superior.
Dude,
it's an evolution in dump taking.
If it was up to RFK Jr., there would be a bidet
In
every
school.
bathroom and a worm in everyone's head.
Yes, that's my commander in chief.
Next question.
No, we didn't even answer. We'll answer quickly.
Oh, well.
How many rolls you keep on hand? I keep at least 6.
Well, because I'm living with my girlfriend's parents.
You probably go to Costco and get a big old. You get a big pack.
So I'm going to answer the question of how many in my actual hand. I'm going to say 4.
4 rolls
squares.
in like
4 squares.
Oh, I'm going 8 to 12.
If it's a thicken.
Yeah.
If it's a 1 ply, I don't even count.
Yeah.
I just do what feels right at that point.
Yeah, you have to use your instincts.
Whatever feels like my finger's not going to, finger my butthole,
Yeah.
check my prostate,
Yeah.
tickle my throat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I keep 6 on hand. I think that's good. I live alone.
Yeah. Yeah, you can have that. You can have that
You want to
luxury.
allow yourself to have a bad weekend
You
and not have to leave, you know?
You want to eat some greasy food.
Yes.
You have the toilet paper economy.
Yes.
All to you.
Yeah.
It's just you.
And you just want to be able to have enough on hand so you're never like, the worst feeling is having a gastral attack.
A gastro blitzkrieg.
A gastral blitzkrieg that also could be a title.
A Schitzkrieg.
Yeah, a Schitt's Creek. Not the title. You're like, Ron, you realize you're like on your last roll and you're like, you got to start doing math. You're like, how long is this going to last? Do I need to leave to get more? So I always just keep 6.
It's like when you're playing like chess and with the toilet paper and you're thinking moves ahead and then you see the checkmate.
Yep.
Which is you're going to have to get up and put on a new roll while there's still shit on your butthole.
Yeah.
And that's the worst kind of defeat you can feel.
Yeah. The case of the poopy pants closed.
What a great show. Why do women get periods when men are the ones who deserve them?
One more time. I want you to get it clean.
Funny.
I want you to get it clean.
Why do women get periods when men are the ones who deserve them? God likes us? I don't know.
Do we deserve it?
Do we deserve it?
That's my question.
I'm sorry. Who made airplanes? I don't know. You know?
Well, I'm sure there were many women involved. Behind every strong man is an incredible woman. But I'm not a chauvinist or misogynist. That sounded very much like that. I was just saying a bit.
I think if you didn't say it nasally, it would have been.
Yeah, I sound like I was mocking somebody I know, which I'm not. It's a joke just for me and the audience. I like those. I don't think we deserve it, but I know what you're saying. Like, why isn't there an equal like bodily function?
Oh, we've got it. It's just nowhere near as awful.
We get boners.
Yeah.
But that is not, we're not bleeding.
No, we're not in pain.
We also don't have to pay
for several days.
It's also wild to me that they have to pay for that.
Yeah, that is
because
whack.
I mean, have you heard of the pink tax?
What is it called?
It's like the pink tax.
See, that's fucked up.
Well, it's conceptually, it's like meant to describe the extra costs that women have living in a patriarchal society. So things like makeup, lotions.
Hold on. Makeup and lotion. Get the fuck out of here.
No, but Ben,
no, you pay the tax on that. Tampons, on the other hand, and other women hygiene products, that should not be taxed. That is crazy.
It's not an actual tax. The pink tax is just like, to live in the current day society, women must adhere to a set of standards not decided by them, but decided by men who find them attractive. And so it's in order to be successful in the current system that we're in, which is rooted in the patriarchy. The pink tax is saying that it costs women more money to live to keep up with the standards that have been pressed upon them by an oppressive system.
Right. But makeup and lotion.
No, but looking good is part of a woman's like value to society.
There's a lot of women not wearing makeup these days. It's fine. It's cool.
I think it's fine too, but we are evolved men.
I like the evolved part.
We are evolved men. We've gotten past the system of old, but a lot of men haven't. Look at Instagram. You'll see it. That costs money. And so I can agree with you. I'm not saying we give them makeup. That would also be like really insulting if like a candidate was like, all makeup for free. We want beautiful women. We want the best women.
Put makeup on. It's free.
But I do think like feminine hygiene products absolutely should be treated as free, similar to contraceptive things like condoms. Like you should be able to, and maybe you can, but you should be able to go to like a place. You should be able to have free options available, and they should be clean and available to everybody. And I actually think they should be in every restroom, because I've had to buy them for a partner at the store when I'm out and they need them. And so I think I hate this argument. They're like, they're putting tampons in boys' restrooms. Who cares? The worst they're going to do is soak it with vodka and put it on another boy's ass. And we all did that. Did that.
Boys will be boys.
Boys will be boys. New title. But it is just like, I can't believe how mad it makes me, but I'm like on this rabbit hole now where I'm just like, I can't believe it. And it's expensive. Once a month, 28-day cycle. You need to get you have to financially plan for that. If you're someone who's low income, you have to maybe choose between feeding your child and not bleeding through your shorts. That is ridiculous. 2044, I will be running for president of the United States. In Matt's America, no one's bleeding in their shorts.
Period. Let's go.
Let's go, dude. Yes.
That was dumb.
I might cut it out.
I don't know if it was worth the high five.
The high five really put it over the top.
Yeah.
Like I was scheming for something. All right. This is the last question.
This is last manifest.
Here
Here we are. Manifesting questions.
Last
From
question.
the jar. Last
From
question.
the jar. Manifest a good
Last
one.
question.
Make my mother proud.
Manifestation. Make Matt's mom proud.
Manifest.
Last question. Why am I...
Sometimes it's nice to read the rest of it. It is. Why am I turned on by getting my toes sucked? The jar provides.
Jar provides. In the jar we trust.
I don't want to yuck your yum, whoever this is. That's what you like. That's what you like. Now, the question is why? It probably has something to do with your mother, based on what we know about sexuality.
Yeah, a lot of people blame, having a spanking fetish for getting,
Sure.
getting disciplined.
Sure.
Obviously, when you fucked up, your mom sucked on your toes and
that created a weird feeling.
a weird pocket of vulnerability that could only make you feel secured when someone sucks on your toes.
Yeah. I've never sucked on a toe. I've kissed a foot. I've never sucked.
I sucked on a piggy once.
You did?
One time.
In a sexual way?
Yeah.
We've all been there.
Wasn't about it.
Sometimes you're in the moment and you're just like, oh. And it doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, what's this little pork chop taste like?
Yeah.
Tastes like a foot.
You ever been in the moment and bit somebody else's teeth? Like your top teeth bite down on like their bottom teeth?
No, but sometimes I want to. I'm sorry.
I've never wanted to. It feels weird. It feels
Right?
weird when it happens.
It's like bone on bone action. That's like skeletons.
The Skeletons Collide.
Yeah.
Title. We got a lot of good titles to choose from. The Skeletons Collide. So why? It's your mother. Or your father. Truthfully, we don't know the gender of this person.
We don't know what this household
But
is like.
I think Ben nailed it. Something happened in your childhood that created an emotional vulnerability around toe sucking. That when you now get your toes sucked, it brings you back to that place, but you no longer feel the fear of being a child in that moment for whatever reason. You feel empowered, but also close and vulnerable to whoever your partner is in this scenario.
I have a theory that people with foot fetishes don't have foot fetishes. They just joke about having a foot fetish until it becomes reality.
Do you know who Rex Ryan is?
Sounds familiar, but
He
I
used to
don't.
coach the Jets.
No.
This man has a very out in the open foot fetish. And he has posted videos on YouTube of him massaging his wife's feet.
Coach of an NFL football team.
NFL,
Head coach?
he was
Top spot?
top tier spot. I don't know how your players, that video gets shared around the locker room. And he must just, he owns it. And it's like a weird scenario where like, it's like a POV footage of him just like walking in a parking lot and then he sees a woman with her foot out the window, like, this with a storyline about how she's waiting for somebody. And then he's like, oh, you got really nice feet there. Oh, and he posts that on YouTube. I'm not even gonna play it because I don't think it's appropriate.
It's like
It's downright pornographic.
It's like if Tarantino wasn't a good screenwriter, like he would just follow.
Now that man
women.
also puts the toes in there.
He
but
does.
that is a situation where I think you could be right, where he thinks it's funny.
I don't think he thinks it's funny. I'm just saying he's good at making craft and
He's good at his craft.
And if he wasn't good at his craft, he would just take videos of random women's feet and put it on YouTube like this coach did.
Yeah. One quick story before we go.
Rip it.
I used to work at Kmart.
Uh-huh.
I caught a man taking pictures of women's asses. I was in the aisle. I was helping a customer. We were both bent over looking at something on the bottom shelf. All of a sudden, I hear a camera sound.
Oh, the amateur.
So this guy, and then we both we stand up and look, and this we turn around and there's just a befuddled weird man who's like, because he had forgotten to mute his cell phone noise before he took the picture. And then I was like, "What are you doing?" And he sprinted out, and I was like, "Hey, wait!" But he was so full of fear. Like, what am I gonna like? That's wrong. And I feel bad for the woman I was helping because, like, that's like a really weird position to be put in. It's like disrespectful, and it's very like it kind of changed her from a person into like an object of desire, which has got to be a really weird and uncomfortable feeling. You feel like less of a person, more like an object. But you really can't. I'm not going to tackle the guy and be like, "Give me your phone." Like, what do you do? I don't. Maybe there's a better scenario now, but I was also 20 years old. But man, that's the Tarantino of YouTube. And if he's doing it once.
Oh, he's doing it twice.
He's doing it. He probably had a folder of 300 to 500 photos.
He has a hard drive.
He has a hard drive, all right.
Jar of Pain,